morning. Welcome to the Daily Squeeze Take 37. The topic today is self-motivation. So, self-motivation, motivation, support, there's so much that you can call it. But what do you do to help motivate yourself to keep going to reach your goals? It's an interesting topic that I've been talking to people about lately, and it doesn't seem to have any one particular tip or trick that can definitely keep everyone on board. So because self-motivation is all tweaked to our individual selves, and because our individual goals are tweaked to our individual selves, it's quite difficult sometimes to figure out how to keep ourselves motivated. When it comes to the weight loss journey, different motivating factors can be a part. You may want to be losing weight for a special event or a special occasion that's coming up. You may want to be losing weight just for the holidays in general, so to lose it before you gain it if you know what your habits are like. You may want to be losing weight just for your own mindset, so just building those happier, healthier habits and knowing that the weight will disappear with, the changes you make. But then building healthy habits takes so long. How do you maintain that motivation? Do you have set goals in place where you're quite happy to keep plodding along? Have you broken your goals down into milestones so then you can actually celebrate when you reach your milestones? Little things like that can help really end the frustration and the overwhelm that we can feel during the weight loss journey. So if you want to really have a think about what you're doing now and where you want to be, it's that middle ground that you need to influence and implement where it is that you want to go to. So what's missing? What is it that you're not quite getting, or you're not quite being able to do yourself to help you reach your weight loss goals? So many different factors. It could be accountability, it could be not planning correctly, or not understanding that, if it works for your boyfriend, it may not work for you. If it works for your best friend, it still may not work for you. So are you tweaking it, whatever it is that you're doing, so it really will work for you? It's very difficult to find out what works right away. So to keep that self-motivation, to keep going and keep tweaking habits and keep figuring out what routines or what nutrition, even what exercise will work for you, it can be very overwhelming. So if you're stuck and you just don't know what it is that you need to do, my advice would be to try something, and if it doesn't work, try something else. It's hard because it's kind of like saying, I know a lot of my clients say that they've done all the different diet fads, and you lose weight, you gain weight, you lose weight. So you're trying something new, but in the end, because it's not long lasting, you're just on this roller coaster. It's really difficult to help motivate you when I don't really know exactly what it is you're doing. I know a lot of people are here for weight loss tips and tricks. Go into your head, go into your mindset. Like, are you really, really ready to motivate yourself and to progress your weight loss journey? It's hard work, but it doesn't have to be difficult. Cooking can be so difficult and daunting and overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. There are so many simple things you can do, and once you know what will work for you, kind of getting in a routine even with your eating is, if you have go-to meals for breakfast and lunch and dinner that are simple, easy, but that you enjoy, it's such a good it's such a good thing to implement in order to reach weight loss and or your maintenance phase. I've been talking about the weight loss phases lately, and I like to break it down into 3 phases. So you have your gain phase, and that's where you're not quite mindful. You're not being you're not really zoning into what you're eating, how you're feeling, when you're moving, where you're moving, and how much it's impacting you. So our healthier mindset's kind of turned off then, and you're just kind of gliding along and not really, you're noticing you're gaining weight, but you're not doing anything about it. And then that kind of, oh shit moment happens. And then you realize what's happening, but then you go into that denial phase for a little while, and it really takes that frustration. It needs to get to that point where you are just craving change and you can't stay doing what it is you're doing any longer to get out of that gain phase. And then that pops you in the loss phase. The loss phase is the second phase, and that's where you're having a big change in habits from that gain phase to that loss phase. During the loss phase, it's going to be another smaller roller coaster. You're going to try new things. You're going to see what works. You're going to focus on your nutrition. The good old saying that abs are made in the kitchen, it is true. However, if you're not looking for, the complete 6-pack of abs, you don't have to be perfect. There are ways where you can still have that little bit of chocolate or popcorn on the weekends and still lose weight, still feel good about yourself. So it's getting in that mindset, that loss phase. It is where you know that you need to make this massive change from what you're doing to what you want, because your habits and your mindset have kind of just gotten a little out of control. So that's the biggest change and the biggest jump, and it usually takes that really big frustration, and it's where you kind of just hate yourself, really. For some people it does take to really hate what it is you're doing and hate how you're feeling when you wake up. It's all about those feelings. It's how do you feel when you put on your clothes, How do you feel when you're stepping into the shower? How are you feeling when you're washing your body? And it's a lot of a mindset thing. So you actually have to get in that mindset to want change. So once you want change, you're going to be going for the change, and you're going to want to do it all perfect, and you're going to want to do it just like everyone else, and you're going to want it to work just like everyone else, or what you see or perceive that everyone else is doing. So social media is really hard in that sense, because it all looks happy and wonderful, and I know I don't put up a lot of horrible stuff that's going on. I don't have a horrible life or anything, but Mark and I fight. I get annoyed with the fur babies, even though I love them, and we are a family. But for the most part, my life's pretty cruisy. I wake up quite happy, and it is a mindset thing. I have had to give up my full-time job and my busy career so that I can have more of a balance and do what I love, which is helping people and my clients, and putting extra energy into my family. So, that's one of the choices that I've made that's helped me with my happier, healthier journey, I guess, myself. And it did take me to get to that frustration, overload, stressed out, anxiety-ridden, panic attack state, I guess, that made me really realize that what I was doing just wasn't correct. My headspace has completely changed. A lot of it's, part of it's definitely going live and talking about what clients are asking and what questions that I've had throughout the week. It works for me. I can tell I'm happier, healthier from my transition to full-time work to running my own business now. So I get to kind of walk the talk more and do exactly what I want my clients to do. So it's a nice journey that I'm taking with people. So after the loss phase, once you're in that mindset that, you know, you need change, change is going to happen, change will make you healthier, and it is a process. It does take a while. There is no pill that will just, you know, get rid of that weight right away. So then after the loss phase, you have to go into that maintenance phase. The maintenance phase is where, you know, you can kind of do a little from the gain, and you can kind of keep the tips and tricks that really work that you like to maintain your weight. If you stop being mindful, you're going to fall back into that gain phase. So the maintenance phase is not as much change from the gain phase to the loss phase. It's the maintenance phase is kind of staying on that lost track. Not many habits change, but the habits are built in where they're quite routine now, where you can have, you know, more treats, and you know, if you do go on a holiday, you know that you can kind of relax a little bit more and not worry so much, because you know what you need to do to maintain that healthy balance. So in order to stay self-motivated through all this, you really have to be in the right mindset to be your own personal cheerleader, essentially. It's allowing yourself the permission to spend the time on you to do what it is that you want to do. So what is your weight loss goal? Is it you want to lose less than 10 kilos? Is it you want to lose between, you know, probably 10, 20 kilos? It's okay. It just means that the time in each phase you're in is different to everyone else. But while losing the weight, it's the same struggles everyone else goes through. Everyone starts somewhere, and everyone's at a different part of that journey. So as long as you want to start, as long as that frustration, overwhelm, and everything is right there and it's bubbling, it's taking that first step, and the first step is the hardest because you know that you need to change. So to keep that self-motivation up, I highly recommend writing down your goals, talking to your family about your goals. If you do live alone and you work a really busy job, I've been there, I know what it's all about, and you can come back from it. You can start to put some boundaries in place in your job even that allows you to just make those healthier choices that you want to make. It can happen. If I've done it, anyone can do it. I'm pretty much in the mindset right now that I have my balance back and I'm in the right headspace, I might really focus on losing a couple extra kilos. We are going away for holidays soon, so we are going to be in New York City and upstate New York for a while, and I bet I will gain a few because the food, I know exactly what I want to eat when I go home. So if I lose a little bit before I go, I can be a little bit more relaxed, where if I just go and gain a bit more, I'm probably going to feel more stressed, more frustrated, more overwhelmed when I come home. So if you're interested to take the next step with me, I'm going to do a November jumpstart again. We can get the self-motivation going, and we can also just motivate each other for a little while. If you're interested, just pop me a DM or a comment below, and I'm happy to message you. If not, I will see you tomorrow morning, and tomorrow it's going to be about prepping. So I think I'm going to prep some breakfast stuff. I want to do some overnight oats and another zucchini slice, or maybe even just a veggie bake type dish thing that I do. But yeah, join me tomorrow, 9 a.m. for some planning, prepping, and preparing, we'll call it. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a season with that. Have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.